Here we go. Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to our special edition Health and Wealth Expo Live Summit. Today I have Detashia Coleman, Dr. Natasha Coleman, and we'll talk a little bit about that. So Natasha is our MC. So she's our gracious host, I like to call her. I know sometimes known as the MC for of speaking events and such. But Natasha Coleman is our day one host who has been very gracious and has agreed to come back and host with us again for our second in-person event. And I'm super excited because it's like having family. So if you guys haven't noticed, some of our speakers have been the speakers since our first in-person event, a couple of them at least. And it's because we've developed a movement and we've developed bonds and we've developed relationships really. And that's, that a lot of times what happens, especially when you're on the same page about building health and wealth. And our our theme is it starts with me, right? It starts with me building a legacy of health and wealth. And that's from Detashia. Detashia actually, came up with our theme for the Health and Wealth Expo. And for those of you who, I've recently shared how the Health and Wealth Expo began. And the live in-person summit is really us putting our staple on what health and wealth really looks like. And from a healthcare perspective, right? Because I'm a healthcare professional, nurse by profession, and Natasha is a respiratory therapist by profession. But I'm going to let her go ahead and introduce herself. And I'm excited to talk because I want you to share why you decided to come back and rejoin us with the Health and Wealth Expo. But first, highlight a little bit about yourself and let the listeners know who you are and why this movement is important to you.
I am Detashia Coleman. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a minister. I'm a certified public professional speaker. And I am excited about doing what I'm doing. I'm a combat retired Navy veteran with over 26 years of being a respiratory therapist. When I met Lindra, it was the thing of understanding what it looks like to have your health and your wellness. And for me, being retired out of the military for 20 years and 12 days is what I served. It was that thought for me, how do I pivot my life as well, not only from the military, but also into my legacy of my health and my wellness. I'm also the owner of Launching Winners, which is a life coaching and mentoring business that I have. And there I inspire the winner in you to help you launch your life in the next direction of your next win. Looking at what health and wellness is, this is one of those places where you can launch your health and wellness into the direction of where you want it to go. I'm excited to be invited back again to host and MC this event. It's just near and dear also for me because this is something that is needed in the profession. This is needed at such a time where people are transitioning from jobs or they're transitioning from careers or whatever they're choosing to do. And I think the Health and Wellness Expo gives a variety, not only to healthcare workers, nurses, and those that understand the 12-hour shifts, the every other day, and the stress that comes with that. This event gives you the tools if that is what you're looking to do.
I thank you for that because you're right. And the blend of health and wealth is what's so important. And one thing that we actually just launched today for 48 hours, we're going to do a 1 day pass, right? And we've actually broken this particular event up as May 15th, I should say. I want to say Monday because today's Monday. May 15th, the first day it's all about nurse business development or business development, I should say, right? So you get to choose which day is going to be the day where you want to really come and get all of your learning and your education. And then the second day is all about wealth building. And we're tying in diversity, health equity into that into that day as well. So you choose. So there's a link that I'll share and that you and I'll put that in the chat while uh Detashia is sharing with us what made you, or actually, you have a lot going on right now. Share a little bit about your honorary doctorate, and you like share a little bit because you have a lot happening. So just share a little bit. Just give a little highlight so the people understand who you are.
When she said have a lot going on, she is absolutely correct. We always say, some people say they have a full plate. I say I have a full platter. Being the veteran, I serve in the nonprofit space as the department commander of the American Legion District of Columbia's department. And I've done that for the past 2 years in that capacity. And that, again, is even in the line with when we talk about health and wellness, because with the American Legion, our campaign is Be the One. And so in that space, we are very aware of suicide. So our thing there is doing suicide awareness and making sure that we are the ones that will avail ourselves to be the one in that space. There was a lot in these 2 years that I wanted to get accomplished, but I had to prioritize it. Being in the leadership position, that's what I did for the past 2 years. But I also took the opportunity these first 6 months, and I really want to say from the fall up to the present time, to get those things that I needed for myself underneath my belt as I continue to build my health and my wellness. And one was to prioritize. One was to look at what did I need for my future. A part of that was, as Lindra let you all know, I've been a respiratory therapist for over 25 years now. And one of that was to renew my license to make sure that I'm able to practice in the state of Maryland and DC. Along with that, in the life coaching space, I had been practicing getting my life coaching certification, or getting certified in a area. So I was able to actually get my Insight Coach Practitioner certification done. And then I recently graduated, as she said, from GSU, which is Global Speakers University, under the Dr. Cheryl Woods, as a certified professional speaker. And the last thing that I started last year was I got into an honorary doctorate program for humanities. So I'll be graduating or walking my stage and being awarded that recognition on the 17th of May. And that's for just the humanitarian services that has been done in just caring for people, which really lines up again with this health and wellness. And me coming back is just really stepping into those spaces, because those that are participating, those that will be showing up, the presenters that are before you, having a common denomination with all of them, being in healthcare, but understanding that healthcare and doing that work is not something most of us sign up to do for the whole lifetime. It's a part of our life. Or you choose to do it up to a certain point and you make a decision that it's time for you to exit out. So for me, all of those things that I've been able to share with you is a part of my pivot. It was a part of my health and wellness. And I'm also studying to be in the financial space. So that is to help families continue to plan for the unexpected, but also on the positive side, plan to live. So those living benefits is another thing that is there. So I just think about all that I'm doing. And a lot of the times people say, you do a lot. It is a lot, but they all come together when it comes to people having a balanced life, having a peaceful life, having a life that you've already said, I'm going to plan for this. And we can't always plan for everything, but you can at least put yourself in position to be able to react to a thing and not always necessarily having to respond. So that is a lot that's going on with me, but I'm thankful for the opportunity to have all of those things as I continue to study and as I continue to be that lifelong learner and get those tools and the ability to just really impact, change people's lives. But not only just that, to also inspire other people that, you know, when they look at us, if you're doing all of that, what do I need to do? And it's not a comparison part, but it's just being a wealth, being a resource, or just being that person to actually give you that knowledge. So I think in the Health and Wellness Expo, you're going to be able to get all of that, and you're going to be able to meet amazing presenters that are making things happen in their lanes. And so I think that's what the health and wellness will do. The other reason why I did it, because a lot of us, when we start out doing things, you need people to be on your team. You need them to be in your corner. You need them to be encouraging you to say, you can do it. And so that is another reason why I came back, because I know this is a movement that is needed. I know it's information that's needed. And so, Lindra, I'm just glad that you asked me to come back, and I can't wait to see what happens in that room, because I know from October's event, people were able to connect in that room, and lives definitely are changed. Relationships are built, connections are made. Genuinely, y'all.
Genuinely. Yes,
Genuinely.
no, that's
I had
important.
to add that. Genuinely.
The genuine connections that were made. And that's why I said it's almost like you almost become like family, like just from starting movements and being a part of movements together, you genuinely start to feel connections. And that's what it's about. And that's why the networking is so important. And that's how you grow and elevate. Right. So when I come, you come too. Now let's be clear. I know they say there's a saying you can't take everyone with you, but
So,
this is why making sure that you build those relationships are so important, right? So that you know who should be coming with you. You know who you can groom. You know who can groom you, right? It's important to be able to learn from one another. And that's where that networking comes in. And not only will there be amazing speakers, there's also going to be an amazing vendor marketplace. And
mhm.
so remember, we're blending the health, wealth, and wellness. And because of that blend, it's just going to be a remarkable chain or a remarkable room of speakers and vendors. And when I go to when I'm in certain rooms, when I go to certain events, there's opportunities that I didn't even know were available. And that's why you go, it's like, oh my gosh, who knew this even existed? Right. So think about having vendors from the point of, if you're there to start a business, you're going to have vendors to help you do that, vendors in payroll, vendors to provide your employees with health insurance benefits, right? 401k plans. I mean, it's health and wealth, right? So we're talking about all things, all what you need to do for your health and your wealth. The health piece, if you're looking to escape burnout and build a
Mhm.
business, so for me, building a business is what helped me to escape burnout, right? Now, I know there's levels to this and I understand that. And some people may not necessarily be ready for that phase. However, this is why you need to be in those rooms so that you can start getting ready. Because sometimes you have to take things in steps. Like, look at you. You planned this. Well, you knew, but you took the last year or so and you planned out, and look at where you are now. And this is what we'll be talking about, and the type of things that we'll be talking about at the Health and Wealth Expo. How to really start to take those stages and those steps, and each speaker is going to pour into you. And I know we talked about the pitch competition. I'm really excited about that. So if anyone is interested in the pitch competition, if you're registering, I'm sure you are. We're looking at three things. The most important thing we're looking at is, do you know your numbers, right? Do you know your numbers? How well, what population do you serve? And how well you present your service, right? Or your idea, your business. Like,
Mhm.
but the main thing is really going to be about knowing the numbers. I know, and I've said a lot, and I want you to just share, why do you think, and this is the question that, I ask all of the speakers, because I want you to genuinely tell everyone, why do you think people should come to this event?
When you were talking, and you were talking about the speakers and the vendors, personal experience is, when you go to spaces like this, opportunity meets you when you show up. That's one. The other thing I thought about in this, why you should be there, because you never know who you're going to be in the room with. When I decided to come to this, I didn't know I would be in the room with one of my veteran sisters, Ebony Gray. So you never know who's going to be in the room. That's the other part about why you should be there. You never know who's going to be in the room, but whoever is in that room is the person that you are meant to meet, because you showed up in the room. And so I think about why they should come If you want to grow your business, if you want to start a business, if you want to get the resources so you do not have to go and reinvent the wheel in the business, you have experts that are there that will be giving you the tools, offering you the services, offering you the resources, pointing you in the different directions of what you need to do. And again, you get to build the relationships and the collaborations along the way that when, as they say, we can, it becomes easier together sometimes than if we're trying to run this thing by ourselves. So just coming into the room and knowing that you can get into the room and you can get into a space with synergy, because synergy is what moves us forward into things versus having to do something by yourself and you end up being stagnant or you are stuck by yourself, and you'll have other people there that can actually pull you out, or as I say sometimes, pour that little water on you that you needed when you felt like things was drying up. You just needed somebody else with another resource that would add to you. So I personally think that is why you should be in the room. And again, you never know who you're going to meet because there's layers to people. When they show up in the room, you see them in how they've shown up in the room for that event, but there are layers to them. I can speak to just meeting with Narisa, in the business space and taking advantage of that, but also knowing that she's in the faith-based space. And so you never know how you end up meeting, collaborating, being encouraged by somebody else that's in the room that you would have never met. So join us.
I love it. I love everything you just said. Join us. The synergy is going to be absolutely amazing. From our virtual events to the in-person events, you just really can't go wrong. And I think something that you said just really is impactful in my eyes. And I hope to those who are watching this, is showing up for yourself. It's really about showing up for you, and that's what it is. But just listen. So join us if you haven't already done so. Head over to healthandwealthexpolive.com. I did put the link in the chat for the 1-day pass, so that's available now. That's available for 48 hours. So join us on May 15th and 16th. And remember, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. That again goes along with wellness, right? So there'll be in the vendor marketplace, there'll be mental health counselors in the vendor marketplace as well. So it's this is important on so many levels. I'm so happy to be able to bring this to you along with such great speakers, along with my gracious host, Detashia Coleman. And so thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you run over to healthandwealthexpolive.com. Join us on May 15th and 16th, and we will see you at the summit. Any last words, anything you want to share before we go?
I look forward to seeing you all there, hugging your necks. See you all in New Jersey.
In New Jersey, yes.